So what does that do for the numbers that you're talking about tonight?
It's the difference between prosecuted cases and complaints. And they don't track complaints unless you look force by force, and that police force in that community has to decide to want to do it. So very often situations like yours would not be reported, but you're hitting on a very important issue, which I'll start with you, Mayor Scott. You know, it used to be here in New York City, there were tremendous strides made in criminality with something that was called the broken windows policy. You go after low-level offenders because they become higher-level offenders if you don't deal with them early on. And Commissioner Bratton and, of course, Mayor Giuliani became famous on this as crime went down. Now it seems that the left is arguing not to prosecute that level of crime because it's disproportionately aggressive on one race and it's ineffective in crime overall. These stories are starting to populate the discussion. What's your response?
Well, I think it's first to really level set and understand our role as mayors. We lead our police departments. Our police department's role is to, one, prevent crime, but when crime happens, do our best to ensure that we capture those perpetrators who've committed the crime. In the city of Little Rock, we have above national average of a capture rate of somewhere close to 70 to 72%. However, we do understand that many times it's a three-pronged approach when it comes to law enforcement. You have the arresting authority, which we all lead. You have our prosecutors who have to prosecute the crime. Number one, also make certain that they're listening to the community, ensure that you're moving from a complaint to an actual charge. And then finally, to the judicial standpoint, and ensure many times that you are sentencing these individuals, particularly those who are creating habitual habits of doing things. Our main issue many times is we may arrest the person. The prosecutor may prosecute the person. There are some times when our judges, between that time period, there are individuals or some judges who are giving low-level bonds as it relates to highly violent individuals. And we don't understand or know when that individual is back on the street until he or she commits another crime. We've seen that many different times where you have what we call shooters who are going around, they shoot someone, our officers pick them up, they go through the system, prosecutors are doing exactly what they're doing, but then we have low-level bonds because I can tell you right now, $50,000 bond is nothing to a shooter or a drug dealer. That's $5,000. They can easily get that.
But Democrats all over the country have been pushing to make it easier and have lower or no bail because it was seen as disproportionate, and you had socioeconomic imbalances where people were being stuck in jail even when they didn't commit the crime.
I think
so now you have cashless bail as a Democrat mandate. Now
I think you have to understand that we as mayors, it doesn't matter if you're blue, green, or red. At the end of the day, it's about can you pick up the robbers, catch the fires, and things of that nature from a standpoint. That's our job. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or not.
Now, listen, I'll tell you what, I respect the answer. But it does, once again, and maybe it is a shame campaign, and I shouldn't have run away from that suggestion that I made myself early on. But the mayors who didn't show up here, I'm telling you, nothing changes.